YouTube, vinyl community, Weezer fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about something I'm super excited to talk about, the brand new Weezer album, OK Human. I got a couple of different copies here. I've got the one I ordered from their website, Alien Slime Green, and one I picked up from a local record store, which I believe is called like Control Room Chaos Splatter Vinyl. And I'll show you guys exactly what those both look like, but this album was a surprise release from them. We knew about the title OK Human for a couple of years now. I'm gonna make a very long story short. Weezer in the last 5 years has been recording like crazy, and they've had albums either sitting around or in different states of completion for a couple of years. Like, we knew about the Black Album before Pacific Daydream came out, but that one came out first, then the Black Album came out. Van Weezer was supposed to come out in May of 2020. It's been pushed back to May of 2021, so they can coincide with the tour they're going to do with Green Day and Foo Fighters, Fall Out Boy and Green Day. It'd be cool if they were touring Foo Fighters. And so this album was actually done after Pacific Daydream or the Black Album. It was around that time, I think 2018-ish, and it was supposed to come out first, but then when they found out about the tour they're going to do with Green Day and Fall Out Boy, they thought, well, maybe we should do this Van Weezer thing instead and put out the big heavy rock album and go out on tour with big heavy rock songs, which makes sense. So this album started well before COVID, and a lot of the stuff was recorded in 2019. So they were totally ready to put this thing out sometime in early 2020 possibly, which isn't a surprise because they put out the Teal album and the Black album at this, within months of each other. So to have a couple albums from Weezer out at the same time is now not a rare thing. And I absolutely adore this album. Pacific Daydream had its moments, the Black album had its moments, the Teal album was just a covers album. And then I was really excited for Van Weezer because I liked everything I heard from that so far. And then we get this instead, and I was like, what is this gonna be? And we heard all my favorite songs, and that just completely blew me away. So this album is Weezer with an orchestra, basically, and it works so well. These songs are mature, they're sophisticated, there's excellent construction here, they're honest, they're emotional. It's everything that makes Weezer fantastic, and then it makes it music for like their age, if you will. It's something that I think you have to like build up towards to make your orchestral work. They could have done something like this 10 years ago with no problem, but hearing it now, coming out of COVID, or still in COVID really, but hopefully someday coming out of COVID, or the results of which I guess I'm trying to say, it's nice to hear that. So we don't know how many songs were left on the cutting room floor from like possibly an original version of this, because some of the songs were written during lockdown. So some of them are new and a lot of them are older. So I'd like to see what else was there before some of the newer ones popped up on here. But anyways, all my favorite songs opens this album, and it's got a slight In the Garage intro. I really like that kind of feel before it breaks into the song, kind of like In the Garage does. But the robust, regal sounding violins and cellos really lend themselves so well to a slightly upbeat song about enjoying songs that aren't so upbeat, enjoying the ones that are slow and sad, and figuring yourself out in the world, and how the music you enjoy kind of either adds to that or detracts from that, and what the juxtaposition is between the two. It's a pretty heavy track, really. There's more to it than meets the eye. But the singing on this track is unbelievable. It's got such an anthemic quality for a song that's not asking to be anthemic, and it's just a wonderful track from them. I've said that word several times, but that's really the takeaway here. And one thing I really enjoy about this whole album is almost all the songs flow into each other, which is a really cool thing that Weezer's never done before. Love hearing that a lot. Lugo B is the next song on here. Tense, punchy, succinct. Love the vibe on this one. Vocally, it's just so tight, and it blends so well with that sort of sweet and cheerful orchestration going on. The bouncy pianos are nice. Pat's hypnotic drum riff is fantastic. Pat Wilson is such a great drummer, super underrated. He knows how to hold a beat and how to make a beat shuffle, and it's something in your subconscious that like flows to that rhythm without even knowing you're doing it. That's the mark of a good drummer. But I love the dramatic chorus vocal on this one too. Very cool song. Grapes of Wrath is track 3 on here. That chorus, oh my god, that chorus is so good. but the verses are very to the point, well syncopated. The timing and the structure on these songs is just perfect, and that might lend itself because of the orchestrations. But digging his Audible account, listening to 1984 or Grapes of Wrath, and just disappearing, zoning out from the rest of the world, getting lost in books. And I'm not sure if that's one of the more recent tracks that was probably done in 2020 or if it's an older one, I'm not sure. But it lends itself well to 2020 from wanting to zone out from some of the things going on. Just put your book on for a while, then focus yourself and get back to the task at hand. But absolutely great song. Numbers is a really beautiful track 4 on here, and I really hope it's a single because it's got such a poignancy to it that Weezer doesn't necessarily dip their toe into too often, but that syrupy sweet chorus, the way that Rivers elongates his notes as he sings them, it's just something wonderful to hear, and it's a whole new texture for them to play with, and it really tugs at your heartstrings in a most honest way. There's nothing cheesy about it. And that's what I think is so infectious about the song. And I really hope it is a single because it shows a whole different side to them that's a bit unexpected. So, it's a song about how we're all run by numbers and likes and comments. And, it's true. I mean, if you're on social media, you hope someone likes your post. Or if you're on Instagram, you hope someone appreciates what you wrote about your picture. I mean, there's a lot to what we do that's numbers driven. And it's not healthy because it makes life a competition, which has always existed, but in such a instantaneous way is detrimental, I think, to your to your brain. But anyways, it's a really interesting song, and I hope it does well for them if it becomes a single. Playing My Piano, this is a very interesting track, and I really like the dramaticness to it. It's something very sweeping and epic about an activity that might not be as epic and dramatic as it could be. You're just playing your piano, but they make it into something sort of swelling and big, and I really like that feel. It really does feel like something Nilsson would have written in the 70s to a point. It's definitely something like a Rivers Cuomo, Harry Nilsson split. But it's a song about getting lost playing your music, and anyone who's a musician or anyone who's got a hobby can identify with that. If you're into painting or writing or reading, you can get lost in your fun without really realizing what's going on around you. I love the slow crawl creepiness and epicness of this track is what I'm trying to say. Mirror Image is an absolutely beautiful song, and for me, it sounds like something that would have fit on Songs from the Black Hole if it ever had come out. It's something that has, every time I hear this song, sounds like old Weezer, but done now. It's one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, that's Weezer. I know that sound. They've done this before, but they've never put it out. So it's exciting to hear that sound. But it's a really romantic, beautiful song. Big splashy cymbals, really nice drum rolls on this one. Huge movie climax feel for a very short song. And what I really appreciate about it is as the song ends, you get a demo of Rivers figuring out what words he wants to use for the song, kind of figuring out where he wants to go with this track. So you kind of hear the life of the song as it ends, which is a very cool thing. Something they don't normally do. There's a couple of moments on this album like that. What's next? Screens. There's a song about how we're living in, looking at our phones all the time. So he mentions his kids, he mentions the neighbors, how we're all living on the screens. He mentions Blackpink, the K-pop group, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to hear him kind of try to fit in with the world and realizing that we're all living off the cloud, as he says. But I like that song a lot, too. The drama on it's pretty cool. Bird with a Broken Wing. This is a track that I think is going to go down as one of the more classic Weezer songs as the years go by. It's a brilliant slow burner of a song about how, that line, I'm where I'm supposed to be, like, no matter how much you might want to change what's happening in your life, sometimes you're in that part of your life for a reason, and it's not supposed to change just yet. It's supposed to be something you have to live through for a purpose. And I think that's what this song is about, but that rolling bass through this thing is a really nice, wonderful touch. It's just an instant sing-along of a track, and I just really enjoy it a lot. So I hope it's something that kind of lives well for them as the years go by. Dead Roses is an interesting song. It might be my least favorite track, but that's in no way a detractor from the song at all. It's eerie, it's dark. The chorus brings in a very make-believe type vocal delivery, which for me is great because I love make-believe. Not a lot of people do, but it's one of my favorites from them. I love Brian and Rivers harmonizing. I think that's one of the most special moments in the song. Everything Happens for a Reason is a quick little instrumental break, kind of like Songs from the Black Hole again, which is nice to hear something like that. It just has that feel of that Oh Maria type stuff from Songs from the Black Hole. Here Comes the Rain. Absolutely adore this track. Upbeat, brilliant piano, warm, sunshine chords for a song about rain. The chorus is just a hand-clapping, instant earworm. Super sing-along type of track. The orchestrations add the perfect balance of 60s, early 70s sunshine pop to this song, and it works so well. It feels like Weezer, but it feels like them doing something different in the absolute best way possible. And La Brea Tar Pit's the last track on here. Another track I hope is one of the most remembered songs from Weezer's discography. Hearing Pat put down his drumsticks at one point, you hear him mutter something, and then he picks them back up again. It's a very unusual move for a Weezer song, to have some sort of like Dark Side of the Moonian talking in the background. You don't get that from Weezer, but it works so well on this track because it gives a whole different character to the vibe of this song. The atmosphere is charged because of that excitement and sort of spontaneity. It's a hard word to say. But the shifts on this one, the dynamics, it's an absolute classic Weezer song. One of the best they've done in the last decade. And something that's a very fitting album ending type of song. It's got a nice little closing feel to it. So let me show you what these things look like. So this is the Alien Slime Green I got off their website. Get a really nice shot of the guys in the studio. Rivers is growing his crazy mustache again. Well, you gotta dig this green. I mean, holy moly. It just looks so cool. These went live on their website at midnight of their release, of the release date for this thing, and they all sold out within seconds. It was crazy how fast that stuff sold out. I think the black records are still available, and of course the ones from your local record store are still available as well, which is this one here. This is the Control Room Chaos Splatter. So I forgot to show this side, I think, but that's where the words are. So dig this. This one looks really cool. Clear vinyl with that splatter effect. Came out really well. The camera's not showing it too well. It's a lot more eye-popping in person. So come over, I'll play it for you, but looks really, really good. So yeah, I'm not even kidding. This is one of the best things Weezer's ever done. Hands down, it's one of the best albums they've ever made. And it's nice to be able to say that, because being a Weezer fan is kind of like trying to leave the Mafia. Once you think you're out, they keep pulling you back in. But I really enjoyed this album, and I keep going back to it and listening to it over and over and over again, which I haven't done for a number of years with these guys. The Black Album had a couple of really great songs on it, but the rest of it I was kind of like, it's okay. Teal Album was all covers, you know, so whatever, put that on for fun. Pacific Daydream had its moments, and the White Album I think was fantastic, but that was 5 years ago now, so it's been a minute since I found a Weezer album that I really connected with. And I've been a fan of these guys since like 2000 or 2001, so I'm not new to the game. I've been here for a really long time with these guys, and I couldn't be more stoked for them. I couldn't be more proud of them for this absolute beautiful piece of work they've produced. And I really hope this goes down as being one of the most well-remembered Weezer albums of all time, because it deserves that. It deserves that recognition. It deserves that kind of award. It's a wonderful piece of work. It's easily one of the best things I've ever done. So if you haven't heard it, give it a listen. It's completely worth your time. It's something you'll never forget. Hearing Weezer do something completely different, but still sound like them at the same time. And that's one of the most wonderful things you could ever want from one of your favorite bands. So there you go. 9 out of 10. Hands down, 9 out of 10 all day. My name is Giggens. This has been Weezer, OK Human. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think of this record in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.